Hey everybody, this is 5 Liter. A couple of friends of mine told me that I should put a video together of the gear that I've been using for the last couple of years hiking on the Appalachian Trail and up in the White Mountains in New Hampshire. Uh, in the last 3 years I've changed a lot of stuff, going through a lot of revisions, eliminated a lot of things, added a lot of things, spent a lot of money, wasted a lot of money, as I'm sure a lot of you guys have too. And I thought that by putting this out there, maybe I could help point some people in the right direction and give some useful tips that I've learned. First of all, I want to give a shout out to a few people. Andrew Skirka, obviously, big out there with the hiking community, lightweight stuff, great resource, read his book, excellent resource. Mike Cleland, also lightweight, ultra lightweight guru of sorts, has a great book also. A lot of great tips in that. And most recently, Will Wood, also known as Redbeard, has a channel on YouTube as well. A lot of great videos. He did the Appalachian Trail through hike last year, doing the PCT this year. Watched all of his stuff, got a lot of great tips from him as well. Highly recommend all three of those guys. So first off, it's the backpack. So my pack is a Golite Jam 70. I know Golite's supposedly in bankruptcy. Who knows what's going to happen with those guys, but had this pack for 2 years now. I went over from a Mountain Hardwear pack that I had. It was a little too small, didn't really fit everything. I'm a bigger guy. I'm about 6'1", 6'2", go about 190 pounds. So my stuff's a little bit bigger, I think, and this stuff definitely all fits in here, and it meets my needs pretty well. Again, depending on your size, you may need to go bigger or smaller on your pack. A lot of great pockets in here. I've highly modified this thing, cut all the straps, trimmed them down, sewed everything up myself to make it a lot less weight. I took I'd say about 6 or 7 ounces, believe it or not, getting rid of the foam pad on the inside and cutting the straps and whatnot. So great pack, does a nice job. And inside I just use a simple compactor bag. You can buy these at the supermarket for like $4 for a package of 10. They last. I've had the same one for 2 years now. No punctures, no leaks. Does a great job. Don't need anything special for a pack cover or anything. Attached to my pack, I always carry a knife. I wanted to go with the lightest one I could find. This is basically just a simple Mora knife. It costs $10 on Amazon. It weighs like 3 or 4 ounces, and with the sheath it weighs 5. I modified the sheath and I modified the knife itself. Carbon steel, got to make sure I keep it oiled as best I can when I'm out there with olive oil or whatever, because it can rust. Again, something to think of. I have to carry a knife. It's just something that I personally like to do. Some people would say, oh, it's not worth the weight. I personally disagree. I use it all the time. I love it. All right. So moving on, let's start with my feet. If I'm going somewhere where there's going to be a lot of rocks, might be worried about my ankles, which not too much of a deal if you're going really lightweight with your stuff. Acelo, F95s I think they are. I've had them for 4 years. I use them all the time when I'm not hiking, just in rainy weather and just around my neck of the woods up here in Rhode Island. Great set of boots, last a long time, no break-in required, not too heavy, do the job well. Most of the time I'll wear trail runners. Now these are Vasquez Mind Benders. I've had these for 2 years. My second pair, the same color and everything. Great shoe. Very comfortable. Never ever got one blister in these things. Shoes, I have to say, are a very personal choice. I've made comments on videos about people's footwear on YouTube. People say to buy this shoe, buy that boot. You gotta try stuff on yourself. You gotta find something that works for you. I think that the mistake people make is buying what works for someone else. And whatever kind of socks you wear, how much moisture you're gonna have. If you're gonna be wet all the time, are you wearing liners? Those kind of things. You got to get out there on a really long hike and try your shoes out before you do a multi-day hike, or you're going to really regret it. Again, these work for me. Again, 190 pounds, 6'1", you know, and it works for me. I also have a pair of lightweight gaiters from REI. They Velcro on, they strap on. No frills, does the job. Love them. Darn tough socks. I have different sizes. I tend to go with a shorter version most of the time. If I'm going to wear the boots, I'll go with a longer version. Silk liners, again, definitely a must-have. Keep you from getting blisters. Very comfortable. Underwear, boxers, EMS, no frills. You know, I don't like boxer briefs. They ride up too much. Not a fan. For my shorts and my shirt that I generally wear unless it's getting a lot colder, this is Nike Pro Combat. They're the polyester wicking material, whatever. It's similar to Under Armour. Do a really nice job keeping you cool when it's hot. You can layer really nicely with them. They really wick away the sweat and do a nice job. If it is getting colder, I'll throw on a pair of my REI hiking pants. Just standard, no zip. I don't like the zip kind. The zippers rub on my knees. Personally don't like it. Not a fan. And I also have an REI poly shirt, long sleeve button down. Great for sun protection if you're getting burned and whatnot. Same thing with the pants. They protect really well. Again, if it gets colder, I have a Techwick T2 midweight. I think this is an EMS product if I'm not mistaken. Really comfortable. I'll generally wear these when I'm sleeping, especially if it's getting colder, if it's getting later in season. I tend to hike way up into the end of October before I really don't get up there much anymore in New Hampshire. But again, great for sleeping at night. Take everything off and just wear these. And in my bag, I stay really warm. I've been down into the upper 20s and no problems. Just with these on in my bag, which I'll get over to in a little bit. All right, so I have a Patagonia beanie. I'll throw that on under my down hoodie that I'll get to in a little bit, or when I'm sleeping if I need it. I have a pair of Outdoor Research wool liners. Nothing special about these other than they say that this coating on the tip of the fingers lets you use electronics and stuff. Actually, it doesn't work really well from what I found. But anyway, I didn't buy them for that. Just wanted to have something lightweight. I don't really need heavy gloves. I'm a really warm sleeper. I'm a warm hiker. I don't get cold too easy. So I'm lucky that way. But again, you have to try this stuff out to see if it works for you. So Sea to Summit mosquito net. Have to have these. I don't know. Some people, the bugs don't bother them. They're a nightmare for me, especially earlier in the season. You're up in Maine, New Hampshire. If it's been a wet winter like we've had this year, it's going to be terrible this year for bugs. I just know it. You have it, you don't need it. You don't have it, you're going to need it. So just bring it. I'm telling you. If you have one, you're smart to do it. Just a basic baseball hat I wear. Nothing, no frills, nothing special. Just a cotton hat. Keeps the rain out of my face when it's raining. Keeps the sun out of my eyes. No big deal. I don't need anything special. It's what I like. Outdoor Research Helium 2 rain jacket. New to my collection since this year. I bought an extra large because it runs a little tight, and I'm layering and I wear it over stuff. Fits great over all my stuff. I put all my layers on with my down hoodie. Fits perfect for me. Again, you got to try your stuff on. You got to use it in the field and see what works for you. Marmo Precip pants. I just upgraded to those from another pair of North Face Ascent pants that I had that were just a little bit too tight. Really athletic fit. Wasn't a fan. Didn't have a lot of motion. You know, getting up on scrambling on big rocks. These Marmo pants are a little bigger, a little more generous fit. Work great for me. Really don't breathe as well as they say they can, especially when you're really working it up and it's getting warm if you're in the rain. You know, so I generally, unless it's cold, I don't really wear them. So if it's cold and raining, I'll put the stuff on. If not, I'll just get wet and let myself dry. It feels good. You know, I don't know. It's like putting a baggie on. These things say they breathe, but they don't. All right, moving on. Sleeping bag. There we go. Solstice 20 EMS. It's a synthetic bag, weighs 3 pounds. I'm going to upgrade this year to a down bag. You know, the ones that I'm looking at are all so expensive. It's something I'm having to budget for. I'm looking at something like a Feathered Friends or Enlightened Equipment, you know, quilt, or I might go with a Z-Packs 10 or 20 degree bag. I'm not sure yet. I'm still reading on a few things, getting some ideas. I tend to lean towards a mummy bag. That's what I've used in the past. This is my second mummy bag that's been synthetic. I like them. So I don't know if I'm going to go to a quilt or not, but you know, I'm also looking at the Western Mountaineering, Alpine Light, Summer Light, and the Highlight. So I'm gonna just look into those a little bit before I buy. I have a Thermarest Neo Air X Light short. Got it on sale at EMS. It was a return, didn't have a package, so I got it for 30 bucks. I like the short pad anyway. I had cut my ridge rest, my Thermarest ridge rest, really short anyway. This is definitely a little noisy, but definitely better than the ridge rest from me. I like it. Keeps me warm and comfortable. Like, I'm a side sleeper. Works great for me. A couple of bandanas. Carry two bandanas. One generally I'll have strapped on the outside of my pack for sweat and whatnot, and I'll use one as another one as a camp towel or whatever in camp. I don't feel the need to carry a pack towel yet. Never really had use for one at this point, so no need for that. Again, lightweight, great stuff. Buck a piece, you know, at Walmart. Stuff sacks. I keep everything. This is what I keep. This is a Sil Nylon REI. You know, it's a thin, light bag. I keep all my kitchen stuff from when I'm hiking in this one. Nice and lightweight. I have a Sea to Summit 13 liter bag. I use it as a beer bag. I keep all my food in this. It's waterproof, airtight. It hangs really well, no problems, and it holds a heck of a lot. So if I really want to go for a long time, I can get 10 days worth of stuff in here, no problem. No problem at all. It's lasted me 3 years, no tears, no leaks, no nothing. And again, for my dry sack, I just have a 5 liter REI dry sack here. This is what I keep all my clothes that I'm not wearing in when they're in my pack, just to keep them dry, just in case there's a leak for some reason, if it's raining really bad. I'll actually use my sleeping bag's stuff sack for a pillow. I'll stuff some clothes in that, and I'll turn it inside out, and then I'll use that as a pillow. I don't have that on my stuff right now, so but that's what I do instead of bringing a pillow or using these. These things feel a little bit funny on the skin when you're trying to sleep, and if it's warm especially, it gets a little slimy and it's really uncomfortable. But there's a light felt lining inside my sleeping bag stuff sack. I was gonna buy one from Thermarest, and I was like, hey, I've already got one. Why spend the 20 bucks on it? You know, stuff's expensive enough. All right, moving on to some other things. So water bottles, you know, Smart Water, 1 liter. Uses the same caps as the Platypus I found, the ones that I use, so that's pretty cool. If you have extra caps, you can use them. The flip top that you can get on the smaller version, I got an idea off the internet where you can use this to flush out your Sawyer filters, which I've found works just as good as using the syringe. So, and this is a lot lighter than that extra syringe in the pack, so I've lost a little bit of weight using that, which is great. Again, Sawyer filter, mini, 2 ounces, I think it is. I use the straw if I'm going to drink right out of a stream or something, or out of if I pull it right into my cup here or whatever, and drink right out of that fresh without having to go through my Platypus or whatever. Works great. I've had no problems with it breaking or getting clogged, even on like week-long trips. I actually will just fill up my Platypus right out of a river or whatever, out of a stream, out of a lake, and then just attach the filter, the Sawyer right to it, and then just drink right out of that. Generally, works great. All right, so Snow Peak, 600 ml titanium single wall. I think this is the Hot Lips version. I got rid of that silicone thing that they use. It's kind of silly. You know, for me, one person carrying my stuff, this is all I need. This will hold 2.5 liters of 2.5 liters. What am I saying? 2.5 cups of water, very comfortably. More than enough for me, I generally only do it in one cup at a time for the food that I carry to keep it simple and easier to heat up and whatnot. It's great, great, super strong, super light. It's excellent. Homemade windscreen that I made out of just a piece of aluminum flashing. You know, it works great. Vented. I put the vents in it myself. It works great. My alcohol stove. Now, this is something that I taught a lot of people on the trail about. This thing weighs next to nothing. It's the bottom of a small aerosol can. It's literally an inch and a quarter across, and it's an inch and 5/8 tall. It's got 16 holes in it. I made it like the Andrew Skirka cat food stove that he makes, and I'll tell you, this will hold 1 ounce of heat for a fuel in it, and it will burn for like 12 minutes with 1 ounce. And I can boil 2 cups of water and then some with that. I can get 1 cup of water boiling, really boil in 5 minutes with this. Again, I also have a gig of power from Snow Peak with the isobutane canisters. I'll only carry that if I'm gonna be taking my wife with me, and I'm gonna be doing multiple rounds with the food. I'll also take my GSI kettle, which holds more than 1 liter in it, if I'm gonna do that too. So, but for me, again, works great. You gotta fiddle with this stuff. You know, I'm not gonna spend 20 bucks online when I can just do this stuff really easy myself. A lot of instructions, a lot of videos on YouTube. You can do it yourself too. You should try it. A little medicine cup to measure out the heat for my cooking. I have a homemade cover that I put together, just a little piece of wood and a screw, and the top of a coffee can that I trimmed down. Again, made it myself, free, great, weighs next to nothing. Little lighter. I carry a full-size lighter just in case. I like the kind that you can see if it's empty or not. You know, you don't think about these things, but you know, if you can shake it and maybe it's got some in there, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. I like them when I can see what's in there. Again, water bottle, just a little Poland Spring bottle. I measure out my heat for, and I usually only heat up stuff for dinner. I eat, you know, whatever I'm carrying that I don't have to cook for breakfast and lunch and snacks during the day, and I'll usually have a bigger meal with some ramen or some broth or whatever with extra salt in it for dinner, just to replenish and whatnot. So I don't need to carry that much, but 1 ounce per day for those trips works good for me. And I can actually, like I said, get away with a ½ an ounce. I just have a little extra just in case. All right, so repair kit. I've got a little packages that they sell almonds in it, Aubon Pain. I got some duct tape folded up in here. It's about 6 feet or 10 feet worth in here. I've got one of those little Swiss keys. It's got a bottle opener. It's got a little knife in there, a little screwdriver for my eyeglasses and whatnot if I need a wire cutter. Yeah, super lightweight. I don't feel the need to carry anything bigger or more functional, you know, than that. Again, I have these ultralight little scissors that I got from my wife's pedicure kit that she doesn't use. Again, doesn't really weigh anything. This whole kit right here weighs about 3 ounces for everything. Not bad at all. First aid kit. I don't feel the need to have a first aid kit any more than this. You know, if you're out in the middle of nowhere and you bust your ankle open and you're bleeding all over the place, you know, I've got my bandanas, I've got my clothes, I can deal with that stuff in an emergency. You're pretty much in trouble at that point, and you're gonna have to deal. I don't think it's worth the weight to carry all this stuff. I know people will debate that. Whatever. I'm a nurse. I work in an ER, and I still don't carry all that stuff. I don't find it useful. I will carry small stuff, moleskin, some Band-Aids, some Neosporin. I have some super glue here for repairs. It's also great for closing up lacerations. That's what we use on the kids in the ER if they cut themselves. Earplugs are a must if you're going to sleep in the shelter. And I just throw a little bit of Benadryl for allergies and some Motrin for aches and pains and whatnot in there. Works for me. Minimalist. This one, again, this thing weighs 2 ounces for this whole little kit here. Toothpaste. Got this idea from Mike Cleveland. You just leave toothpaste out on a plate in the sun and it dries. These little pellets, and you chew one and then you brush your teeth. You don't have to carry a whole thing of toothpaste. Probably have a little more than I need here, but again, it works. It's in a little cellophane bag here. Works great. Toothbrush, you know, cut it in half, trimmed it with a razor to shave off a bunch of the material here. I wrap it with my floss. You know, again, I'll take about a foot or two, or a foot and a half per day, and just wrap it right around the handle. Take off what I need, cut it, use it, and that's that. No need to carry the whole roll at this point. Maybe if I do the Appalachian Trail in total, someday I'll take a whole roll, but that'll come when it comes. All right, my headlamp. This is an Ozark, like $6. I got this at either Walmart or Dick's Sporting Goods. I don't even remember. Takes 3 AAA batteries. I think it's like about 100 lumens. Way brighter than I need. It's got a high and low setting. Doesn't have anything special. It's not really waterproof, but I wear it underneath the brim of my hat if it's raining. I've never had a problem in the last 2 years using it, and I've been in pouring rain with this thing. It works great. I don't feel the need to spend 60 or $100 or even more on one of these things. Again, I'll put the batteries in when I'm on the trail, and I'll carry an extra set just in case, which is also in my kit. Little signal mirror, and for hygiene, just again something out of my wife's cosmetic stuff. Mouse trap. Now, some people might disagree with this, but if you've ever had a mouse run across your head while you're sleeping at a shelter, that's pretty nasty. I've already gotten a bunch of them up on the trails at the shelters with this thing. Just chew up a little trail mix and put it on here, and you'll hear them in the middle of the night snap. And I'm telling you, after you kill one, you don't have any more in the trail in the hut for the rest of the day, which I think is a bonus. So DEET, insect repellent. This is it's a little container. It weighs, it's got a half an ounce of material. The whole container weighs 1 ounce. Sawyer product, great stuff, works. Don't use it too often because I have the netting, and I'll just wear clothes if it's really bad. But again, sometimes you need it, and you want to have it. It's definitely better to have that kind of stuff than not. Sunscreen, dab on. Put this. I use this mostly on my neck. Back of your neck will get burned a lot of times. When you're hiking, you're not paying attention to that. Put it on my arms if it's really roasting out there in the summer. This thing weighs like 2 ounces, I think. It's amazing, amazing stuff. All right, so this bottle here. So again, some extra batteries, and this is the bottom of a Poland Spring. I'll use this to scoop out water if the water sources are really getting thin. It's a lot harder to get them into my platypus. I've used it a few times, as you can see. It does the trick. This part here, I use this to hang my food bag in the shelters to keep the mice off of it. Just hanging on the nail, and you hang your bag down below, and the mice can't get to the pack. They'll fall off before they can get to it. I saw somebody doing this at the trail. That was a great idea. So I copied it, and I carry it with me just in case there's not one at the trail. My spoon. This is my absolutely my favorite piece of gear. This is an Optimus long titanium spoon. It's got a polished end, really smooth. It's not rough in your mouth like the regular titanium is. This thing is, you can't bend it unless you try. You're not going to melt it. You're not going to break it unless you really put some effort into it. Just got to worry about not losing it. It's really lightweight. Awesome. My favorite thing of all my gear. I highly recommend this thing. It was $10 on Amazon. Can't beat it. This is a little blue thin plastic bowl that I got from work that was going to get tossed. It weighs like half of an ounce. It's unbelievably light. I sometimes when I'm cooking, I like to have a little extra pouring range, so I'll pour some stuff out of my other cup and into that one. Definitely something to consider if you have a lightweight version. My glass case, I do wear glasses, and if my glasses are on me, my sunglasses are in here, and vice versa. Prescription for both. Must have. I've already broken at least 1 pair on the trail, probably 2 if actually in the last couple of years. You got to be careful, and that's definitely something to think about. Toiletries, hand sanitizer, get that magic Mike's whatever soap, whatever it's called. It's super concentrated. I probably have like an ounce here. That'll last me all season, guaranteed. Little Gold Bond in here. Definitely need it for the friction you get between the legs and whatnot when it's really getting nasty out there. And then I'll carry a little bit of toilet paper, but I'll also carry baby wipes that I've cut in half, and I dry them out in the sun. And I'll put them in, I'll just carry a few in here. It's great. You wet them with water on the trail. You can wash your face, underarms, whatever, to keep the nastiness down to a bare minimum. Definitely something to consider. Yeah, you just dry them out. You lose a lot of weight. This package here weighs about 6 ounces for everything that's in here, which is great. All right, moving on. I didn't talk about my EMS Icarus down hoodie, full-length zipper. It weighs like a pound. It's a little bit on the heavy side. It's pretty comparable to a Patagonia down hoodie. It uses 800 fill, power down, super thin, super warm. I found it warmer than the Ghost Whisperer. I found it warmer than some of the other North Face products. I have a thermal ball hoodie, definitely warmer than that one. Definitely recommended, you know, and it was only 130 bucks on sale. My tent, Big Agnes Fly UL2, Fly Creek UL2. 2-person, again, I'm a big guy. I like to keep my gear inside with me. It has a little vestibule under the fly there, and it's too small for anything but your shoes, so no matter what they try to tell you. But again, great tent, super light. I have Vargas or Vargo titanium pegs that I bought and swapped the ones out, the DAC ones that they came with, and it's about a third the weight. Big savings there. So I'm basically at about 1 3/4 pounds with everything in there with that. So great tent. Sets up pretty quick. Definitely worth setting up in your yard before you get there on there on the trail. I think that's everything. If you have any questions, please let me know. Hope to see you out on the trail. God bless and be safe out there.